Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Sonochauskas. Today's the 26th of April 2018. So we're gonna have a look at the markets, what happened during the morning session, what's still happening, and yeah, what to expect from later on. But before we jump in, let's have a read through our risk disclaimer. So JFD Brokers offers exclusively consultancy-free services. The content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll just give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Out on a daily basis, different trading shoutouts, different technical analysis, and yeah, especially in different languages as well. So yeah guys, I mean, feel free to kind of visit us, and I think you can find something useful for yourself. But for now, let's have a look at the charts. So the first one I want to look at is going to be the Footsie 100. So the Footsie 100 is currently rebounding a little bit higher here. We're still getting held here by this 200 EMA on the daily chart. Now, of course, we'll have to keep an eye on this one and see how the day will close. If we'll see a nice close above this 200 EMA, well, there is some potential for it to go back towards these highs here at around 74.35. If we do get a break above the 74.35, well, it is opening the path towards higher levels. But for now, we are balancing slightly above this upwards moving trend line that started on around the 27th of March. So if we'll see a reversal to the downside, and let's say if this 200 EMA will hold, and then we'll see a reversal to the downside, we'll start breaking this 100 EMA and then potentially this upwards moving trend line. Then, well, there is a chance for this to continue dropping and maybe hit these previous levels. The first one that we would be watching would be this 7310, 7300, approximately there. And of course, if that doesn't hold, well, it is opening the path towards lower levels. Around the next level that we would be watching would be the 7260. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Another one, DAX. So DAX is also slightly regaining its lost positions, but still getting held here by this 12,460. Now, if we continue getting held here by this 12,460, and it will struggle to go over this, then, well, I mean, we could make the index could make its way lower again, maybe again a test of this 50 EMA here on the daily chart. Now, if that doesn't hold, we do have a better level here, better support level, which is the 12,160. It proved to be a good level in the past, so keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, like I said, at the moment, all eyes are on today's close. If we'll get a nice close above this 12,460, well, again, we could go back into this little range that it was trading a couple of days ago, between the 12,460 and 12,600. And of course, we could then get a nice test of this 12,600. So for now, guys, keep a close eye on the closing bell today. Let's have a look at it. For those who actually are interested in Bitcoin, I mean, you've recently saw it. Well, you saw yesterday's slide down here, and we can see that it moved. I've got this level highlighted here as 9160 approximately there, 9150. So we moved below this level. So now the question is, of course, was this just a small correction for it to continue pushing higher, or actually we're gonna now slide a little bit lower? Now, certainly it is a bit difficult to say on this one, because to be honest, the chances here are equal. And if we get a nice close above this 9160 approximately there, if we get a close above this area, then there is some potential to go back and test this 200 EMA that acted as a good resistance level. Now, Of course, if we will continue seeing this weakness, then it is opening the path towards this 50 EMA and then potentially towards this little level right here at around 76.50 approximately there. So guys, keep an eye on this one. I mean, certainly for those Bitcoin enthusiasts, I mean, there are some good levels to watch, but don't write this one off yet. First, like I said, we need to see maybe a better break here below the 76.50. Let's have a look at the euro dollar. The euro dollar is getting some strength today, a little bit. Certainly, Mario Draghi is helping it a little bit. So we can see that the pair has pushed a little bit higher, managed to get towards the 122.100 approximately there. But now we can see that it retraced a little bit and now it's stuck somewhere around the 121.850. So certainly, again, for this one it's difficult to make a call because we are below the 100 EMA here. We broke nicely yesterday and there is some potential to move lower. We can see that it rebounded here nicely from this 121.500 level. Now if we do get a move lower and we break the 121.500, well, there is some chance for it to move lower, maybe even towards this 120.900, which acted as a good resistance level in 2017. So guys, I mean, on this is what to watch out for on the downside. On the upside, if we get a nice move above the 122.150, and potentially, of course, eventually if we'll get a move back inside of this triangle formation, well, keep an eye on this 123 area, a break of which can potentially open the path towards these higher levels again. And probably the downside could be off the table for now if we see a nice move above the 123. Let's have a look at a few other pairs. So GBPUSD moving slightly higher as well on day to day, and we are currently almost next to this 140, the psychological 140 level. So if we get a nice break and a close above this 140 level, there is a strong chance for this pair to continue pushing higher. Certainly initial small resistance area that it could meet on its way higher would be this upwards moving support line, and also of course this 21 EMA, which is shown here as a yellow line. And of course, if those two won't hold, well, guess what, I mean, could potentially move towards this 141.500, guys. So for now, keep an eye on the 140. If it proves to be too much for this pair to overcome, then we could potentially see a bit of retracement. But then again, like I said, at the moment it seems that it wants to continue pushing higher. So we'll just have to stay sharp on this one and be careful, to be honest. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar. Now Aussie dollar is rebounding nicely from this bottom side of this downwards moving channel. Let me just slightly adjust this line here, it's skewed. There we go. So it is bouncing off nicely from this downwards moving channel, and now of course the question is, will it move a little bit higher? Will it continue pushing higher? And will we see a test of this area right here? Now this area, just to point out its significance, is that this trend line, this upwards moving trend line, has been running since 2016, January 2016, and we did break it. We did break it on the 23rd of April, so on Monday. But for now, like I said, the question is, will we get back into it, get back above this one, or actually this will prove to be a strong resistance area. Now, if we potentially will get back into this above this, then well, it could open the path towards towards this upper bound of this downwards moving channel for a quick test, of course. Now certainly for that we would need to see Aussie dollar strengthening again, probably gold strengthening again as well. So now for now I will say that keep an eye on this area first, this 0.76450 approximately there, as a good potential resistance area, a break of which could open the path for higher levels, but we'll have to evaluate that one a little bit later once we get to this area first. If this area holds the price, then well, we could roll over here and move lower and potentially maybe move again towards the bottom side of this downwards moving channel. So keep an eye on this one, guys. Let's have a look at the USDJPY. The USDJPY retracing a little bit, we can see that here, and now this is the question, of course, the big question of everybody. If you're drawing this upwards moving trend line here that started in 2012. Now, if this trend line, what I've drawn, is correct, then because we had a nice break of it to the upside, now we're retracing back to it. So now the question is, of course, will it hold? Will it be a nice level of support, or we actually will break it again and move a little bit lower, and maybe we'll move again back towards this upwards moving support line that started, the short-term support line that started around the 26th of March. So this is the big question, of course. We'll have to wait and see how this day will close on this pair, and of course we'll take a position tomorrow. For now, like I said, we're just observing it because at the moment it's quite difficult to predict on this one. If we get a nice close above this, well, there is some potential to move higher, maybe even towards this 200 EMA here on the daily chart, and that could act as the first level of resistance. And if that doesn't hold, well, we could potentially move back higher where we were in December, of course. So yeah, guys, at the moment, like I said, keep an eye on this one. Let's see what he wants to do. Let's have a look at the USDCAD. Now, USDCAD is stalling a little bit, so it's stuck here just below this 128,500 area. So the question is, of course, is this going to be breaking it to the upside? For now, some could say maybe it's forming like a flag or something like that. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, but if we get a nice pop again above the 128,500, this would be probably the fourth pop already. And if the day will close, let's say like this, if the day will close today below this, but then tomorrow we'll get a nice pop above this 128,500, this is going to be the fourth break above this area, and potentially we could move a little bit higher towards this 129,500. On the downside, of course, keep an eye on this 128 area as a potential strong support area first. Of course, we do have the 50 EMA here shown as the red line approaching that area that could also support the price. But if these two levels won't hold, if these two indicators, let's say, won't hold, then watch out for lower levels here. Watch out for the 127,600 and then potentially lower. But for now, like I said, keep an eye on this little range here between the 128 and 128,500, and just keep an eye on this and let's see where it wants to pop. Okay, guys, I'll have to end it here, and I hope you have a good US session. As always, guys, keep an eye on the price action. I'll see you tomorrow in my Traders Espresso at 6 o'clock GMT, 7 o'clock British summertime. Yeah, guys, have a good evening, and bye bye.